Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Coming up tonight, a man is in hospital after being shot outside a bar. Meanwhile, victims of a recent fire get much-needed donations. And it's almost February, but a young entrepreneur still in the Christmas spirit. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Jared Higgs. Topping news tonight, a man is in hospital after he was shot outside a bar on Friday night. According to police, it was around 7 when a man was standing outside the establishment on West Street and a lone gunman shot him in the leg. He was transported to hospital via private vehicle and is listed in stable condition. The assailant fled in an unknown direction. Meanwhile, 2 men are in custody after they were found with drugs and ammunition on Friday morning. According to police reports, those officers were on routine patrol in the area of Ferguson subdivision off Carmichael Road when they spotted 2 men outside a home who aroused their suspicion. The officers approached the men and searched them, where they found a quantity of drugs and 4 .45 caliber rounds of ammunition. Both men were arrested and taken into custody. Over in Grand Bahama, police found suspected marijuana in 3 separate spots. In the first incident on Friday, officers from DEU proceeded to a dirt road on Settlers Way where they searched an abandoned vehicle and found a quantity of suspected marijuana. In the second incident, officers from the 8 Mile Rock Division, while acting on intelligence, went to Cemetery Road, Martintown, where they conducted a search of a vacant property and discovered a quantity of suspected marijuana. In the third incident, officers of the Southwestern Division, while acting on information, discovered a quantity of suspected marijuana in bushes on Reed Elding Street. No arrests were made in any of these incidents. Horizon Christian Academy and Kiwanis Club of New Providence made a generous donation to the children who lost their parent in that structural fire on Cowpen Road last week. The Kiwanis Club made a monetary donation and donated laptops and clothing items, while the school gave a full-year scholarship as well as a monetary donation. The school's director, Chanel McPhee, said she was touched by the level of support for the students.
I'm really proud of what the Bahamian people, we're going through a lot of stuff, and it shows a lot that Bahamian people can still look out for their own during this time. We've had parents that reached out to us, called without me even asking to give donations. I've had parents that reach out for laptops, clothing, shoes for these kids. I would just like to add to the family to let them know that we're here. Horizon Christian Academy is here for whatever it is, and that it stops here. Even when he continues, we want to ensure that his college education will be further as well too.
On January 14th, police were alerted to a structural fire which resulted in the death of 2 women and left 2 other males nursing injuries in hospital. Kiwanis Club of New Providence President Dominique Roll said this was something they had to get involved in.
So immediately when we saw the news and we heard that children were affected, we're not limited to children, but our primary focus is children. So we right away, we decided that this is something that we must get involved with.
The work of the newly appointed Vaccine Consultative Committee will not be easy, according to Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernando, who says planning for the vaccine's arrival will be very intricate. George O'Bain reports.
Fernando says he hopes to utilize his engineering background in his new capacity as a member of the Vaccine Consultative Committee. The Christian Council president says he has heard the noise in the market surrounding the appointment of the 10-person committee, but assures Bahamians that this is about helping the country and not about getting a check.
All of the committees, including my position as Christian Council president, there's zero pay. This is just service to country. And the advisory committee is just that. It will give advice on strategies and what we hope. You will need church halls. You will need the access to those buildings. Beyond that, I'm an engineer. I bring a certain technical background that sometimes doesn't express itself in the media. So I sit back and talk about cold storage, talk about the engineering prospect of it. How do we transport? How do we move it? What's the numbers behind how much we have to produce a day to hit the targets in a reasonable time? And so this cadre of Bahamians, and we just simply take these appointments so that we could help our country.
According to Fernando, the job ahead of the committee won't be easy, as a unique plan of execution must be made for each inhabited island.
It gives us a lot of time. because if it's coming in the first quarter, we don't control that part of it. We can really do some effective planning in that time. This is not easy planning. We are not the United States of America. We have a lot of islands, so just think about that and the impact of that and the professionalism that our technocrats, that's not just us, that those that work in the field will have to bring to the table to execute this. I think that this is probably more challenging than anybody could imagine. To do this kind of mass vaccination that is not Nassau-centric, not Grand Bahama-centric, not Abaco-centric, the entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
The rollout of the committee's work will be heavily reliant on technology, according to Fernando, who insists that once the vaccine is in country, they will be moving at a fast pace.
So it's going to be very technically based. We're going to have people to book their appointments. We're going to have people to interact with apps and emails and the like we did some of the other times when we were moving large volumes like this. And if we get it right, it's going to be very interactive and it's going to be progressive. And so when I say that, if you make a decision and you say this is not for you, we're moving to the next person. We're going to really, really be progressive because we have a lot of people. We have a few supply that'll be here. We got to give some persons 2 shots, and so it's going to be very progressive. It's going to move very steadily, so when we finish with one category, it's the next category.
Reporting for our News Weekend Edition, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
Free National Movement Chairman Carl Culmer is taking issue with PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell, who this week slammed police officers in Grand Bahama for roadblocks on the island. In a video that made the rounds on social media, Mitchell called the roadblocks unlawful.
I think we should cry shame on Mr. Mitchell for trying to degrade the police on performing their job in Grand Bahama.
Culmer added that if it weren't for frontline workers like police officers, the COVID situation in the Bahamas would be much worse. He applauded them for their hard work on all of the islands.
And we'd like to thank them for enforcing the rules and regulations that is out there today. We must appreciate that it was not for the work of these good people, we will not find ourselves in the position of low counts, low hospitalization, and so we have much to be thankful for.
More women attempt suicide than men. Stay with us. We've got the details when we come back.
Basketball is back, baby, and so is NBA League Pass, only with Rev Trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free, along with incredible prizes including a brand new 50-inch smart TV, NBA gear, and more. With tons of prizes and gear, signing up for Trio is the best on and off-court move this year. Just call 601-8992 or visit www.rev.bs/promotions/trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free.
Statistics show that more women attempt suicide than men. That's according to Bahamas Crisis Center Director Dr. Sandra Dean Patterson. She said, unfortunately, more men are successful in their attempt. She said, regardless, one life lost to suicide is one too many.
I must say there are more women that call with reported suicidal thoughts. But, you know, the statistics will show that there's more men who complete the suicide. So it means that the men are not reaching out as they should. So it's important for us to put the resources in place to deal with it.
Earlier this week, Police Commissioner Paul Roll apologized for comments he made regarding men who have committed suicide, calling them weak men. Dean Patterson said in this economic climate, people are going through things and need help. She encouraged anyone needing help to contact the Bahamas Crisis Center.
Obviously, somebody who attempts suicide or completes suicide is experiencing depression, powerlessness, hopelessness. And yes, we have hotlines. We have, I think, about 3 hotlines now that respond to persons who have that suicidal ideation.
Bahamas Power and Light is engaged in a few policy discussions with government regarding renewable energy in the Bahamas. BPL Chairman Dr. Donovan Moxey says it's a part of moving things forward with the company's strategic plans to use more renewable energy.
There's some internal discussions that we're having with the government from a policy standpoint, because obviously we know we want to hit our 30% by 2030, and so we're having those conversations. We're going to go ahead and sort of get those policy decisions and move that process forward for us as well.
According to Moxie, BPL is currently engaged in a number of projects, beginning with the Family Islands.
We're embarking on some very good solar projects in Abaco. We have about 5 projects on tap for Abaco for microgrids there. We obviously also have in the hopper 4 projects for 2 for Eleuthera, 1 for Andros, and 1 for Inagua. We've identified and shortlisted the bidders there, and we're looking to move that process forward as well.
Moxie said the company is also looking at distributive battery technology, which he says should be a game changer for consumers.
When you look at solar, we're also implementing distributed battery technology so we can stabilize our grid for New Providence. In doing that, now a lot more rooftop solar, the ability now to bring in utility grade solar in terms of the amount of megawatts now becomes a possibility. Because when you look at putting in utility grade solar or a large amount of rooftop solar in New Providence, our grid is not stable. So you run into the issues of grid stability issues and then having outages caused by the injection of generation into the grid in ways that you can't manage. And so we're moving that forward with our distributed battery technology, which we're looking to be online here within the next 12 to 15 months.
A disabled job seeker claims discrimination. We've got the story when our news comes back from the next break.
Basketball is back, baby, and so is NBA League Pass, only with Rev Trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free, along with incredible prizes including a brand new 50-inch smart TV, NBA gear, and more. With tons of prizes and gear, signing up for Trio is the best on and off-court move this year. Just call 601-8992 or visit www.rev.bs/promotions/trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free.
Welcome back. A 32-year-old woman who has spent most of her life in a wheelchair is crying shame on some business owners who she says refused to hire her because of her disability. Giorgio Bain reports.
As the old saying goes, God helps those who help themselves. But it's a saying that 32-year-old Kelisha Rule is losing faith in. You see, she has a degree and has completed all of her necessary training. Despite that, she's not been able to secure a job since 2016. You may have noticed Kelisha Rule as she sits at the entrance of Costrite at the Town Center Mall. The 32-year-old is now the prime breadwinner of her household as her mother recovers from injuries sustained in a recent car accident. Kelisha has been wheelchair-bound since winning her battle with cancer at a young age. The list of companies that Kelisha has applied to are endless, but she says she has received no reply from most of them.
I can't tell you why they haven't called me back yet. But I'm going to tell you what one in particular business had told me. And he's located actually in Collins Avenue. Call no name, get no blame. Okay? If he knew I had a disability, he was never going to call me.
Despite her achievements in school and various training programs, Kelisha has been out of work for nearly 5 years, relying only on the kindness of strangers.
When you talk about discrimination in Nassau, or you talk about discrimination in the Bahamas, I'm going to say there are a handful of them who are going to stick by you. They know you applied. They know what you're about to. They know what you're about to do. They know your aim, but then they're not interested. You understand? And I think that basically has to do something with the structure or the infrastructure of some of these buildings, which are very old.
The pandemic has only worsened Kelisha's financial situation, as many persons who would normally assist her have been forced to tighten their pockets. It is getting difficult to maintain her most dire necessity, her wheelchair, as she collects only $280 from social services on a monthly basis.
Simple as a new wheelchair tire. And that ain't no little bit of money. The last time I've checked, it was costing basically around $500 for one. For one in particular wheelchair, one tire. That was just $3,000, in which I went to social services to get this kind of a wheelchair.
While Kelisha is grateful to the customers, staff, and owners of Course Ride and the Town Center Mall for their help, she says that she wants to be able to provide for herself the proper way.
Any employer or employee that can assist me at this time or at any time, just giving me a week pay and that is willing to give me what I deserve, you can feel free to dial my number. It's 818-0374.
At the end of the day, she is clinging to her faith. Reporting for our News, I'm Giorgio Bain.
Really hope that she finds a job and some employment. When our news comes back from the break, an entrepreneur keeping the Christmas spirit even though it's almost February. Stay with us.
Basketball is back, baby, and so is NBA League Pass, only with Rev Trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free, along with incredible prizes including a brand new 50-inch smart TV, NBA gear, and more. With tons of prizes and gear, signing up for Trio is the best on and off-court move this year. Just call 601-8992 or visit www.rev.bs/promotions/trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free.
Christmas may be over, but it still looks and smells like the holidays in the backyard of a young entrepreneur who is turning pine into prosperity. Christina Dragovich takes us inside the green business.
Most Christmas tree branches have turned from green to brown by now, but the scent of the holidays hangs heavily in the air of Nicholas Fox's backyard. What may look like a dead Christmas tree farm to the casual observer is the raw material for mulch.
Mulching is an up-and-coming industry that most people don't have a second thought about, but now that we're getting into this whole sustainability and home gardening wave, you're going to start seeing a lot more people, instead of throwing out their yard waste, they're going to start mulching their waste.
Fox says he got the idea thinking about the life cycle of Christmas trees and how the pretty pines are discarded after just a few weeks.
What do you do with your Christmas trees? I asked my mom that, and she said, I just throw it out, and I said, well, this is good pine wood, and it has a lot of different benefits, like it's a good weed suppressor, and the smell itself also deters certain pests from like your garden, so it's a free resource.
So what does Fox actually do with the Christmas trees? The Compost King says he shaves the trees down to create mulch, and what isn't sold as mulch becomes an ingredient in his compost recipes, another venture he cultivated out of curiosity.
I started studying medical biology, and then I switched to philosophy and creative writing / journalism. But I've been composting for about 7 years, and everything I've learned is completely online. I've been buying books. It's all like self-taught. There was just such a strong calling within me to come home and do this. I felt like I needed to do this. And then the pandemic happened. Well, it's still happening now. And it just kind of took over. Like, this is what I've been, while I was home in lockdown the entire time, every day I'd be out in the yard just observing, taking notes, studying, perfecting my recipe, my method.
Both business ventures create a symbiotic relationship.
Think of the compost as like life itself. As things break down, it produces a lot of different soil microbes, fungi, and other forms of like life that helps your plants. And the mulch is like a topper. It's like skin for your soil.
So far, Fox has collected about 60 Christmas trees for mulching. He still needs a mulcher that can handle the capacity, but Fox says he's pretty pleased with the process so far. If there's even the slim chance that you still have a Christmas tree up around your house, Fox says he would be more than happy to take it off of your hands. You can find him on Instagram at @TheCompostKing or at 817-6880. Reporting for our news, I'm Christina Dragovich.
Thank you for joining us for our news tonight. To catch our news on the go, download the Rev Go Play app. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Jared Higgs. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.